Hi you guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Torrence, and in today's video we are playing with the Sigma Enchanted palette. I have had this palette for about 2, maybe 3 months, and the reason I never used it on my channel was because it was sold out and I wasn't sure if it was going to be discontinued or if it was going to be restocked. So I went ahead and I did a tutorial using the Coeur de Rosa palette, which I'll leave linked right here above. And I decided to go ahead and just put this on the shelf. Then I got an email from Sigma Beauty letting me know that they were releasing a new palette called the Untamed palette, and I purchased it the day it released. And while I'm waiting for that palette to come, which I believe should be scheduled for tomorrow, I decided why not go ahead and play with this palette since it seems that they've restocked it. And I want to give you a quick view of what these colors look like on the inside. As we can see here, this palette has 14 shades, 7 of them being matte. And as someone who loves greens and dark tones, I really wanted to go ahead and get jumping into this. I know many people may not find this color story interesting just because of how many dark colors are in here, but this is right up my alley. So if you want to know how I achieved this look, just continue to watch and we'll go ahead and get started. I am trying to hurry up and get through this video because it is raining outside right now. 1 second, everything is absolutely quiet, like right now. Next second, all you hear is thunder and lightning. So if you hear anything in the background, please excuse me. But I want to jump into today's tutorial because we are playing with the Sigma Enchanted palette. I have already ordered the Untamed palette, but it hasn't quite gotten here yet. I think it's scheduled for tomorrow or the day after. But considering I've never used this palette, I figured why not? It comes with a double-ended brush, but I'm not a big fan of double-ended brushes. But Sigma makes my favorite synthetic brushes. This one has the E38 diffuse crease and the E54 medium sweeper brush. Give you the close-up of this one here. With this being a first impressions, I don't have a look in mind already. We're just going to jump straight into things. To start off in our crease, I want to use 2 different shades. We're going to start off here with Claystone and then work our way over here to Evergreen. And Sigma makes some very pigmented eyeshadows, so we want to go in slowly. And look at that, yep. Glad I went in with a very light amount of product. Gonna diffuse that out, and of course we have no troubles with blending. But I am gonna want a little more. Pick that on, buff it out. Quick. I'm going to take and add just a little bit more right down here in the lower part of that crease. Jump over to the other side. And now we want to go in with that green. And you all know I love me some greens. Gonna fill up our outer crease and our outer V with this shade. Press down first and then we're gonna buff and blend up. Ooh, that is the one thing I hate about eyeshadow at first, is things can be looking terrible when you first start. Trust and believe we're gonna pull this together. And now there's a net in the house. Opposite side. Come on, how you wait till I want to do makeup? Now for transition shades, on the inner half of my crease, I'm going to use this shade here, Innocent. And on the outer half of my crease, I'm going to use this shade here, Terra. I'm going to take and just press it in first, right there along the edges, and then we're going to diffuse them out. This color picks up very well, so I'm quite sure it's pigmented. Okay, knock off my brush and get to diffusing. And I want to take this all the way up to the brow bone. We want a seamless blend here, so we want to make sure we focus on diffusing the edges and bringing those together as one color in between the two. Opposite side now. Opposite side. Same thing on the outer half, pressing first and buffing later. Diffuse this out now. And you want to take your time with this dark green, or with most dark greens. Baby, she's going to be bold and colorful today. Transition shades are done. Time to cut our crease. And I am someone who appreciates when my eyeshadow looks this crazy, because when I finally get finished, baby, it shows me all that energy and effort was worth it. And because this is a colorful and dramatic look, why not take that crease rather high? All the way up. Not trying to really cover the outer V, because I know I'm going to go back over that with a little more green. And I want to bring this in front of the eye today. Way over here. Other side. And now that we have our lids covered, we want to go back in with that first shade Evergreen. Place that on the outer V. I want to just make sure that area right there is done, because we're going to diffuse another color in the outer V later. We want to make sure we have this started. Bam! For lid shades, we're going to start off here with Plume on the inner half, and then switch over here to Cosmos for the outer half. Alright, let's see what we got coming. Okay, okay. Vibrant and sparkly, honey. Never disappointing. And I picked up a tiny bit of product and it spread way over there like that. I am adoring it. I thought I was going to need a crap ton of product. And just the tiniest amount here is going. Oh, look at that. Okay, Sigma, y'all said put some respect on my name. I genuinely thought that that product was not going to pick up that well because I saw all those floating glitters. And they are sticking. And even more important, I'm loving the way this layers. And now for my greens. You know I love greens, so I had to pick Cosmos up. See what she offering. This is very pretty. I personally wish that the floating glitters were a little bit darker just because I like really dark jewel tone greens. But this ain't nothing to put down, honey. To deepen up my lower crease, I'm going to go back in with this shade Claystone to deepen up the inner half, and then go in with this shade Wicked for the outer half and outer V. Gonna knock off excess product, and I want to try to keep this up rather high, but I do want to diffuse the edges of that cut crease there. Doesn't need much. You can see how this sinks in a little further on this side than it does on the opposite side. And I just, for me, that little extra bit of effort is something I always like to do. Ooh, and this Wicked looks dark, baby. So we're going to just start off with it here on the outer V. Press that into place. Gonna keep tapping off our brush, but we want it right there. Now that we have this much done, I'm going to cut away, finish my face, and I'll come back to show you how we're going to finish off the eyes. Ooh, life in plastic is fantastic. Honey, this combo today got me looking like I got Botox and lip fillers going on. Come on now. Alright, we're going to finish things off for the lower lash line. Now I'm going to take a pencil brush and the shade Evergreen and place that on the lower lash line. Figure since we're already going dark and smoky, why not? And actually, what I'm going to do is take this green on the outer half, fuse that up along the sides here. And then whatever product that's left off on the brush, we're just going to sweep that over here. We want to make sure our brush is mostly clean before we do this inner half. And just smudge that color over. And you can see how the inner half doesn't have nearly as much product as the outer half. I'm going to do that on the other side now. For my brow bone highlight, I'm going to use this shade here, Sunburst. And for my inner corner, I'm going to use this shade here, Electrum. Sunburst looks like a regular, oh no, that's a metallic eyeshadow. And I want to go in very lightly just so I can have that yellow shade there. just enough to bring a shine to the brow. Diffuse that down a bit. This shade is pigmented, so go in very lightly. For this inner corner, honey, we want this to be big and bold and bright, so I'm going to leave it stamped hard. Like I want this to jump out at you. Yes. That gold should have a mind of its own, honey. Time to set things with a little Fix Plus to add a little hydration. All nighter to last all day. Cheap fan, expensive breeze, good times. Gonna give this a few seconds to dry and I'll be back with my final thoughts. And this is the final look. I want to give you a full face view before I give you my final thoughts. And I am really liking this look, but we have to be honest here. This palette is a little more difficult to work with than the Coeur de Rose. To me, there was nothing wrong with any of the individual shades, but the truth being told is, with this being a darker, grungier palette, it is not very difficult to get these last three matte shades over here to blend into one another. I truly believe if you want to get the most out of this palette, you're going to want to stick to one, maybe two of the mattes, and you're going to want to use one of the darker colors with one of the very much lighter transition shades that are up here. If you try to blend one of these with one of these over here, it is possible, but as you can see, the look will come out very dark, and it's going to be hard to tell these mauvey purple shades from the green shades that are on the outer half. I think in person, it's a lot easier to tell, but on camera, it's not giving you the depth and dimension that I'm seeing in person here. I'm someone who tends to prefer darker, grungier colors, so this is nothing that's an issue for me. But I think if you're someone who likes more neutral colors, if you're someone who likes lighter, brighter colors, this may not be the palette for you. But I am so happy I have it, and it has me truly waiting to see what that Untamed palette is going to offer me, because so far, I think I have, what, about 5? Once the Untamed palette gets here, I think that will take me up to 5, but I'm really liking this look. But once again, I'm gonna have to play with it a little bit more to get the full details on it, because although I'm liking it, I don't see this being my favorite Sigma palette. Just off first impressions, the Coeur de Rose has this beat way out of the park, and just based on the Untamed palette, considering it looks like it has more of those lighter neutral shades, I think I'm going to give that a test out. But I would recommend this, especially if you can get it on sale. This may be something that I would not recommend as your very first Sigma eyeshadow purchase, but one I truly recommend everyone gets. And also, for the first time, I did it off camera though, I tried out their Sigma Pink Blush. It came in this large compact here, and I'd never given it a try because it was this shade. This is a bright, hot pink shade here. And let me just show you, like, this is easily the most pigmented blush I've ever used in my life. Like, when you swatch this, this is the color you get. Like, look at this, honey. This blush does not play. And I went in with the slightest amount, instantly saw it, had to hurry up, knock my brush off, and diffuse it out. So I want to try their formulas in other more neutral and natural colors, because to me this was so bold that it honestly made me scared to use it. And I think this is going to have to be something for more editorial looks. I don't see this being something good for a daily basis. But considering how easily it did blend out when I realized, oop, I went in with too much color, it truly has me interested in the formula. But I hope you all enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're also subscribed to the channel before you leave. And with nothing else, I hope you all continue to practice. Remember to stay blessed. And until next time, bye YouTube. Wait, ooh.